So there's a really good quote by Jim Rohn. He says, you're an average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And so I keep that in mind with regards to Thanks for having me here, Steve.
Thank you.
Just gonna talk a little bit about myself and my journey, and then talk about a health topic that I'm passionate about. So just a little bit about myself. Born and raised in Columbus, Ohio, to a African-American dad and a Korean mom, and most people think I'm like Thai or Filipino, so I've been accepted amongst those communities here in Las Vegas, but it's cool. And so my dad actually and my mom divorced when I was about 3. And then my dad, one of the first life-changing things that happened to me was my dad, he had throat cancer when I was about 10, and then he had an allergic reaction to the chemo, and then he passed away. So he was about 47 when he passed, and I was 10, and so he passed early in life. And then my mom, who's from Korea, she had triple bypass surgery when I was about 14 years old, and that was another traumatic experience as well. I remember us going to a lot of like McDonald's and Burger Kings and just eating a lot of fast foods growing up. But over the course of decades, she started having trouble breathing, trouble going upstairs, all those types of things. And that was a turning point for me because I was like, man, am I gonna lose her as well? And so I wasn't sure about that.
I'm not taking somebody's honor.
No, you're good.
You're good. Yeah, come on in. Yeah, have a seat. And so those 2 instances really changed my life. And then kind of the other big instance that changed my life was when I was running track in high school, senior year. It was like districts, doing hurdles where, I did like that. I got tripped up second to last hurdle or so.
Oh.
I think I was like in 3rd or 4th place, but I got tripped up and ended up breaking my ankle. And your foot looks like that, right? My ankle looked like that. And so it was pretty bad. And I was on the ground with it doing that. And so I went like that and snapped it back, and then I tried to walk on it and it wobbled like that. So it was really...
Was it a compound fracture?
It was probably. It was really bad.
Through the skin?
No, it wasn't that bad.
Oh.
No,
it was bad.
Yeah, that was bad. Yeah, that was really bad. And then I spent about 8 hours in the emergency room for them to tell me that it was broke. Yeah. So that was really bad. So those instances changed my life with regards to my health, and I was like, there's got to be a better way than my dad with his throat cancer and chemo, and my mom under triple bypass, and my own health issues with injuries. But I never knew of a better way, and so I kind of struggled throughout that. And then I went to Ohio State for marketing and transportation, and then when I graduated, I worked for PepsiCo. So I sold the whole junk food, snack food side of things. Positives was that I gained a lot of valuable people management skills and process orientation skills and project management and all that stuff, because I was an analyst and managed truck drivers and warehouse folks over the course of 7 years. The downsides, it just felt like it was more about profits over people, kind of in every place, more about the numbers than nurturing relationships.
For sure.
And I get that a business needs to be profitable to stay in business, but it just kind of felt like it was more about the check in the box for HR or legal, but not really actually like caring about people in a way that you really can feel it, like you feel loved. You know what I'm saying? So, so that was always kind of implanted in my head. And then there's the whole glass ceilings, layoffs. Somebody has to die, be fired, or leave, or something. For there's kind of like limitations there.
Forward,
yeah. There's a lot of that. And I wasn't passionate about it. I was passionate about helping people, but not the products per se, and maybe I couldn't see myself there long term. But yeah, gained a lot of good experiences there, so I don't want to be a total downer. But and so when I moved to Vegas in 2013, and I went to a green smoothie class, and then I went to a natural solutions class, and then those 2 really changed my life, because I was like, wow, I can use food as a form of medicine, and then I can actually be proactive with my health. And so since then, my life has definitely changed. And so I left PepsiCo in 2014 to do what I'm doing now full time. I started my LLC last year.
Sorry.
That's okay. Yep, come on in. So my LLC is called Eduvitae, and it's Latin for education is life. Edu and then vitae. Yep. So that's what that stands for. And since then, I've become a YouTube partner as well. So about a year ago, actually this month, I was like, hey, I'm gonna do a video every day for the next year. And so that's what I did. And so for the past year I've grown from 30 subscribers on YouTube to almost 2,000, all organically. And then I went from about 3,000 views to now I'm approaching almost 260,000 views on my channel. So for me, it's kind of like, whoa, like that's what happens when you just start producing content that adds value to the audience in different ways. And so for me, that's my goal. And so now I've scaled up, and so now I went from 1 video a day, and now I'm doing 3 videos a day, posting. And then I am working on scaling up to probably about 5 videos a day eventually as well. So it sounds really crazy, but it was a process. And so now I've really honed in on and then eventually I'll start hiring out stuff to help me get to probably like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 videos a day. Sounds, again, crazy, but I want to turn it into a really just an education focused channel. So it's all focused on natural solutions education. So it's got supplements, it's got natural alternative childbirth, like natural births, we got CBD oil, we got marijuana. It's everything that has to do with natural. So it's not just a product or a supplement, but it's if you want to have a birth that's natural. How does that, it may not be you guys, but it may be somebody you know or somebody else, because if they don't want to go through the synthetic, toxic, side effect route, there's another. So I interview doulas, people who assist with those types of things, or I'll interview somebody who is in the CBD oil or cannabis industry and do things like that as examples. And so 70% of my channel is probably just me producing content, and then 30% is like collaborations and things like that. And then since then, I've come up with a book as well. So it's on Amazon and iTunes and Kindle and everywhere you can get it. It's called The 30-Day Guide to Reducing Stress at Work. So it's 74 pages, longest chapter is 2 pages. And that was really inspired from my time at PepsiCo, because I was very stressed while I was there, did not have healthy ways to deal with it. And this is a very practical guide. It's almost like a guidebook per se, not really a book. So like I said, the longest chapter is 2 pages. So it's more designed to help you build emotional intelligence, which Daniel Goleman in his book defines that as 3 things. It's knowing what you're feeling. So, oh no, I'm feeling frustrated or upset. It's knowing why you feel that way. Oh, I feel that way because somebody just cut me off on the road when I was driving somewhere. And then the third is a positive or healthy way to deal with that in the future, because I can't prevent people from cutting me off. So one healthy thing could be, instead of getting ready to give them the finger, I can, breathe or adjust my expectations, because the gap between expectations and reality is frustration. So if I want to close that frustration gap, I need to have more realistic expectations and know that if I'm going to drive, somebody could, not that I'm asking for it, but could cut me off. And so I need to adjust my expectations, yes, and be ready for it. And then there's days where somebody will do it and I won't even blink. I'll be like, and there's some days where, I don't know, something happens, it's the gaps between eating, or like, I don't know, I'm just cranky, and I'm like, I'm just like, whoa, hold on, calm down, remember, okay, emotional intelligence. So it just kind of depends what the day is, but I can kind of self-regulate a little bit more, have that self-awareness. And so it's really helping to help somebody become a reasonable person as well. I just posted a quote on my social media, but a reasonable person seeks understanding and focuses on truth. And then an unreasonable person focuses on being right and winning. So it's more of a focus on the problem and a tennis match where they want to win, whereas a reasonable person is just like, hey, how do I keep it real, right? And how do I just focus on what's true and just go from there, even if it makes me look bad. So for me, my goal is to be a reasonable person and help people if they want to become a reasonable person too. If you're unreasonable, you're not going to want to become a reasonable person typically, but that's just kind of there. And anyone that's reasonable can become unreasonable if you're around unreasonable people. So there's a really good quote by Jim Rohn, and he says, you're an average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And so I keep that in mind with regards to who I spend my time with, because do I want them rubbing off on me? But at the same time, I don't want to live in a silo where I'm only hanging around people that are going to make me better too, right? So that's why I leverage social media and stuff like that, so people can still get a piece of me and let that be a part of them, but it's always going to bring the real. It's always going to bring the honesty, the truth, the seeking understanding, things like that, fact-based information, a little bit of humor, things like that. And now today I'm also, some of my projects that I'm working on an app as well to help people share different types of supplements with the company that I'm with. So they're little emojis, so they're specific for that. It's in the Android store right now as a beta, and then it's going to be in the App Store for Apple soon as well. So I've been working on that for 9 months. And then I am still continuing and I have a website that's designed specifically for moms called Natural Solutions for Moms. So it's designed to educate moms because of what happened to my own mom with her triple bypass and her low quality of life today. She's on blood pressure medications, cholesterol medications, she's pre-diabetic. And again, she came from Korea, where chronic Western disease was not an issue until she came to the US, got on the standard American diet, also known as the SAD diet, SAD, Standard American Diet, over the course of decades, right? So that's what contributed to her disease. I mean, yes, it's a choice. Nobody, had a cheeseburger to her head and said, eat this, right? But it was her choice, but this is the life that she lives now. And so I was like, hey, I don't want to go down that route. If I can empower moms to do, not go down that route, to help them with energy, to help them get to a healthier body weight, to help them reduce the visible signs of aging, to help them to reduce the risk of premature death. And so those are the kind of 4 things that website is designed to do. So there's a number of products, services that they can do, everything from informational infographics all the way up to coaching. And so that is what I'm knee deep in right now. And we're working with Google and everything like that to get compliant and just start helping people as well. So it's really helped me step up my game, because if you can make Google happy, then you can do a lot of things, because I'm on YouTube as well. So that's one of the main platforms I'm going to work on. Kind of got kicked out of Facebook because of some language that wasn't compliant. I said the word libido, we fixed it, and then their algorithm said, you fixed it, but it still looks like you didn't fix it, so we're not going to allow you to do anything with regards to ads specifically. So it's kind of weird, and then Google has a customer service rep that you can talk to, like a real person, and Facebook's kind of like just algorithms, so it just doesn't work out well with the human element. But yeah, so just working through little first world problems with regards to businesses and stuff like that. But yeah, we